Hello, it's Azarmorph here, and welcome to the Paragon server. Seeing that I've mentioned the Paragon, the server, in the last few videos I did, I thought it would be worthwhile showing you what we've been up to on the server, so you have some reference. Just to give you a bit of a history on the server is just about over a year old. We started the server with Ticket, built quite a lot of things within that. However, we started from scratch again when Feed the Beast came out. We moved pretty much straight across to Feed the Beast upon release of the mod pack. We are using Direwolf20, and I guess at the moment we're planning to continue to use the Direwolf20 mod pack. So that's basically the basic history. Just to say that the server is one of those where we don't force people to play or say you have to be on for a certain amount of time. It is basically the one and only golden rule is to have fun. We do have people that go away for a while then come back, so it's really a case of it's a server here for when you want to play and game with others. Now, what I'm planning to do is give you, as I say, a brief tour of the server. As brief, it's probably not going to be that brief, but brief enough. With discussion with my server colleagues, I've come up with a kind of list of things for us to have a look at. The first being the Nexus. It's pretty much it does what it says on the tin, really, doesn't it? And then from that we're going to go to my old base. The reason why it's my old base is that both Sexy Mexy and myself scrapped our bases, or in the process in my case, scrapped our bases and bit of lag there. Scrapped our bases to combine forces and do a new base. Sexy Mexy's been far more efficient than I have, as in he is already taken us down to skeleton, and mine still has some elements in it that we're planning to transfer across. So basically a quick view of my old base, just to see where this really started from. The next place we'll go and visit will be Spawn. Spawn is predominantly where I am at the moment, where I'm doing a lot of the work, because we had a couple of new members join us not that long ago, and they were kind of turning up in a very much undeveloped area out in the wilderness, and there was a village there, so we felt that we would do a bit of work there, tidy it up, give the new people that spawned in a bit of protection, maybe some new, allow them to pick up some basic kit, and then move out from there. So we'll show you that. Also near Spawn is another village. We seem to have got a couple of villages in the area, and that one again is one of the ones I'm working on at the moment. So I'll give you a quick look at that. And then with the blessing of a couple of my server colleagues, we're going to have a look at two other locations. So one being Sudden Fool and the other one being Loch Nash. They haven't been on the server for that long, however they've done some nice pieces of work, so I thought it would be worthwhile just showcasing some of their work as well. And then probably to finish we'll have a look at Sexy Mexy's and my base, just to kind of give you a look. And some of the images of our base are already out there. We do have what we call the donut, which is our HQ. That has already been seen on the Show Us Your HQ thread on the Feed the Beast server, plus also it's been out there on some image sites, so it might not come as a surprise to some of you, but it might come as a surprise to others. So hopefully you'll enjoy this, and we'll get over to the Nexus. Just a footnote, I was planning to use books for travel, however with chunk loading etc, with the recording device I'm using at the moment, I feel it's probably best to cut to those locations. So what we'll do is we'll do a cut to the Nexus, and I will see you there. Pigs on snow. Oh, alright then, it should be pigs in space, but I guess I'm showing my age there. Right, we're in the Nexus. It's a small Nexus, compact and bijou, being built. What we have there is players' books. I'm not actually going to show you the names, so we'll just look down over this end, I guess. What we do have is a blaze spawn in the nether, which people can do, go and kill blazes. You will see a blaze spawner in my old base, but that's general use on there. Spawn point is what it is. Dig it. Now I wonder where we got that name from. Anyhow, in Dig It, it's basically where we go to do our quarrying, our turtling, removing of materials without damaging the overworld. So we ask people to go and dig there. You've got Venice and the Ole village. These are two villages that have been worked on by players, as in building up defensive walls, putting protection units, which are really iron golems, and protecting the village for trading, etc. The End, which was completed by server colleagues of mine, where we can still go to get ender pearls, and Waterworld, where you'll find Smexy and me. The Nexus was built in a village. This village I had been working on in the past. I had built a wall, which you will see in Paul, similar to what you'll see in Paul's Survive and Thrive series, except in this instance I put snow on the top. Kind of feels right in a snow biome. There's quite a good population in this village, although this village now is an older village in the sense that I've moved on with some of the design work I do. An example of this would be these farms. As you can see, there's ice there because of the snow. So what I started to do is build the greenhouses on top of the farms. You will get to see that in the spawn village. Also at the Nexus village we built the nether portal. This is the server nether portal. We asked people to use this because basically if people build their own they'll end up back here anyhow. We do have a Nexus on the other side as well, just a smaller version where people can place down some books and travel backwards and forwards, or they build their own base wherever they want and travel to that. But we find that this is a good starting point so that people who haven't been to the nether before will go through here. But we do also find a lot of people, myself included, still utilise this route. We didn't just put down the nether here, we also took a hill which was here in this area, took it down, levelled it out and built our Twilight Forest pond here. There's not much to see on the other side. We built a little tent out there to kind of give the kind of explorer feel to it, but to be honest we didn't really build anything like a forward base out there, as we do predominantly exploring, killing bosses and doing towers. So really very quick overview, but this is the Nexus. So I think we'll move on to the to my old base and quickly give you a spin around that. Okay, we're now at my base. Quaint little cottage in the snow, with some wind power, just to kind of give it a bit of power. Little chimney at the back, quite quaint I thought. Do like to build in snow biomes because I'm not a big fan of rain, well the sound effect of rain anyhow, and I quite like the snow effect. So you come in, you warm yourself by a nice warm fire. There is a chimney, so it's quite interesting when it snows because you'll get the snow coming down on the flames. Some nice little viewpoints so that you can see outside in the relative safety and warmth of your cottage. So, yeah, quite a nice little cottage I thought. Shall we go downstairs and see what we can find? What's this? Yeah, I have removed it. Basically what used to be here was a false fire and a false door, because really it was just a ruse, and basically I could say there's my base, people would come across and go, is that it? But no, there's a little bit more to it than this. There we go. And as you come in, you can see what I built is this is one of my first elevators to go between two floors, because my base is actually 2 floors in height. It was built in a ravine, slowly extended out, widened out, and the depth's about the same, but it's been made longer and widened. So anyway, the idea was that you would come down on the left here. I'm going to put my pack on now. Come down in the water to this level if you want to come down to the lower level, and if you wanted to go back up, there was lifting blocks here, which would whip you back up to here, if I can do it right. Yep, whip you back up, and you would actually hover about this height, which is quite good. So you way up and down between the levels. So let's go and have a look at the base itself. Now I'm going to try and keep this as brief as I can. I could show you things that used to be here and aren't here anymore, but what I'll do is I'll show you what is here. This is the central atrium of my base. Basically, as I say, built in a ravine. It has been widened, and a little bit in extra length this way where we're stood at the moment. The ravine actually carries on in the distance, and you'll probably see that a little bit later. This upper level was going to have farms in it and livestock. Livestock's around, I've already secured livestock, and farms. Well, you basically build farms, don't you? No hardship. So you would come in at the lower level through this way here. Corridors in there, in that open space there was my sorting space. It's all been removed. There's not really worth seeing anything. It's just a hole in the ground. This plant has been removed, but this is one of the old school forestry farms. It was my peat production, which then fueled the peat engines that supplied my initial power. Here was my first orchard, which would supply me apples and biofuel to supply the base. So I moved up to biofuel, which is still here. You can still see some lava production down there, but I'm again not really going to take you down into the engine room. There is still an engine there, but to be fair, it's in bits and pieces. There's not really worth to see it. You'll probably get more out of what goes on with the main base. Anyhow, here was my command platform. It had all the red power units like furnaces, to name but one, extractors, rubber manufacture, the whole lot. Also crafting tables on this side, which would make where I could make all my tools and building blocks and everything else I wanted to. I did bring in these forestry trees to kind of give a bit of structure to the roof, because I just think great big open spans without anything sometimes makes you wonder what the hell was there. Did bring in a skeleton spawner to make a spawn farm, and as I say, this is the kind of thing I was saying. I don't want to show you tons of this, but here was one of the new style forestries with a beech plantation on the top of it. So I'm not going to go through what was here. I'm going to show you what is still here and still to be transferred. If we go here, this is my blaze rod farm. Sure you see these before. Basically the blazes land in the water, die off, and the blaze rods end up in these chests here through a piping system. So there you go, you can see the blaze rod there, float, gets sucked in, it'll be in a pipe system, and then it'll end up in one of these chests. You can see there's a difference between the doors as well. I would take you in there. It's really just a room now because Sexy Mexy salvaged the equipment. It was for making all my gates and other chipsets for use with the bees, because as you can see with all the plants, I did have bee operations going in the central atrium as well. I'll get stuck on a lamp. Yeah, as I was saying, you see the difference with the doors. We've now got doors from the Twilight Forest, but you'll also notice that I have sliding doors. Sliding doors I use predominantly within my base. I stopped using them for a while because I was having problems with them by losing part of the door off the engine unit, although some still work, some stopped working, so I replaced those with the Twilight Forest. Excuse me there. That's a cup of coffee not agreeing with me. Anyway, into enchantment room. So you'd come and do your enchantment. If I turn around, you will see that I built a library. I removed sort of this section to explain it to you. What you would do is you would come, click to book. You would then go and enchant it. If it was not an enchant you'd want, you'd open this chest, place said enchantment into there, and it would wing its way around the system so that and store itself where it wanted. Now, as you can see, I've got some cobble in where there isn't anything. That's because I haven't yet gained that enchantment. Once I do, I'll take the cobble out, put the book in, and then that's it set. If it doesn't have a home, it normally travels along here into this chest where it would sit, and I would be able to recognise it, and then I would dutifully either remove a piece of cobble to put it in its correct location, or, as in this case, take these wooden blocks out and extend it. So, yeah, a little library. This will be the plan is to reproduce this back in the new base, which you'll see either near the... well, you'll see that shortly. So yeah, library. So let's head off to the next room. Now let's see, I'll speed up a little bit here. Oh, maybe I won't. So, there we go. So, as per the sign, this shows that this is the railway manufacture room. Again, excuse it, a lot of stuff's been removed, but just to give you the flavour, this is probably one I will say with removed elements. When the system did its sorting, the sorting system would drop gravel off in that gap over there that I'm kind of scrolling my mouse wheel over at the moment. Coal would come in over this side here, travel across this wall, through that hole there, and down into this area, which I'll explain in a minute. I had railway manufacture here, so it was automated manufacture. I've got my blast furnace here for making steel, and obviously creosote tank for creosote, which would come through these liquid pipes here, and there's pipes for the coal coke, which is also would come out of there. Now, this is a build I do quite a bit. I find it fun. I find it entertaining. I could do it with just pipes and it could just be really straightforward, but I don't see any fun in that. So what you do is you have your chest cart here. I believe in one of my bags, it'll be that one. I have some coal on me. Yep, certainly do. What you do is you plonk as much coal as you want into that and you set the system running. Now the upper cart, which is the one at the front, drops the coal off into the ovens, as you can see them beginning to light up. Boom, boom, boom. And the lower cart removes the coal coke. So the creosote that comes out of these ovens flows through this pipe and goes on, and the coal coke, look at that for timing, coal coke gets dropped off and through there. There must have been some in the system already. The reason why I do this, it could be a lot simpler, but I find it quite fun. And there's times where you want to just sit and have a cup of coffee, as I have got right in front of me right now, and you just watch it do what it's got to do. So again, not maybe as refined as you could, but I don't do refined I do refined if I can, but if I want to have a bit of fun and a bit of amusement or something going on in the background, this is the kind of build I will do. So there you go, pretty straightforward, isn't it? Right, I could show you much more of the base, I know I could, however I have already filmed this before and it took 17 minutes to go around the whole base, and that was really showing you stuff that used to be here, this used to be there, that was this engine, this was this engine, but I'm trying to keep this as short as I can. So what I've done is I've refilmed it, as you can see, and hopefully this will be shorter. So what we'll do now is we'll head over to spawn. I think that will take a bit of time to go round. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm going to have to make this into 2 parts, but we'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, I'll see you over at spawn. So now you find me at the spawn. When this is about the area where we've marked out with these, where people arrive on the server. When originally, up until a wee while ago, this place was pretty much a disaster area. The village up here had trees growing through houses, it had houses without roofs, it had about 4 villagers. I guess it still has actually got 4 villagers. Mountains over it, caves under it, zombies everywhere. It was a proper mess. So, spent a bit of time here working on developing it. As you can see, paths of staircases, adding new buildings. You can see new buildings I've added quite easily by the kind of elm wood and the smooth stone instead of cobble. So I kind of tried to show a difference in building. This is a butcher's, so what's better than the butcher's than some spat chickens? So I've placed chickens in there, but I did bring up other livestock, cows, pigs and sheep. Pretty much put some material for breeding in the chest, and if you read the sign, it basically, the whole point is just to allow people that are starting out to get a bit of a helping start. So anyway, I've spent quite a bit of time here at this spawn village, designing routes, paths, putting some new houses and buildings in, doing the greenhouses, which I think I'll be able to show you now because we're heading to them now. Putting walls around, so you can see that is exactly the same kind of wall as Paul Source Jr.'s Survive and Thrive series. But anyway, these are the greenhouses, and I really do like these, if I do say so myself. Really good, because as you can see here, keeps the water, shut the door behind me, keep the draft out, keeps the water from freezing. I put an extra wooden block in here because, as you'll see later on, predominantly even at the village is developing at the moment, villagers love to stand in greenhouses. So by putting this wooden block down, and these don't really mean, the lilies haven't counted for anything, but the wooden blocks allow villagers to come in and out with ease. But yeah, quite pleased with how these have worked out, the design of them. It took me a while to get the design exactly the way I wanted them, but I'm quite pleased with that. So there you go, there's the greenhouses. They say building new buildings, I use smooth stone. This is the first one I built here. Again, I have used cobble, but it's a new one built. This was quite an interesting challenge when I first came here, when we first worked on this, because what I'm stood on at the moment is actually on top of a kind of gully, ravine, but not really a ravine, an opening. If I jump over it, it'll explain it easier. As you can see, it's a kind of recessed bit of land with high walls around it. Now I didn't want to build a wall on the top of that hill there, because it's just kind of, I don't know, it would have been the easy option. Again, this kind of shows my ethos of letting the landscape dictate the design, because within these bricks of this first arch is actually an upstand of rock. I've just reutilised it for it. So actually it went from where the kind of gatehouse is, stepped back in and came back out, then stepped back in again. So I've really used that as a kind of inspiration to build the path across, and then doglegged it return back in at at where this stone was. All this stone was naturally here. The only thing I've probably done is remove some earth, unlike these bits of earth that have been here, just to kind of give it a defined edge. But yeah, so built the gatehouse. These bits of wood here will soon be replaced by steel doors that you've probably seen on the Nexus, and if I can jump this right here, so it'll be this kind of style with player plates in front of it, with the basis to stop zombies coming in. Let's go up a tower. I'll try not to fall down it, as I've done before. Go up and show you the rest. Up here we go. And this is a push button on this one, of course, so push the button, I'll probably let go. Oh, got through before it shut. So as you can see from the upper level, that's the gatehouse. An interesting challenge, but one we rose to and built. Quite happy with it. Where I'm starting is still to be developed. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to put here yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. As you can see, for about 50% of it, I've actually put the kind of castle wall scenario. Not quite happy with it because it's a little bit more solid than I'd want. For spawn, I didn't go for the castle feel. I do build castles, but I didn't really want to go for it. But I did end up doing it with a moat, just for show, I suppose. And down here was a little bit of extra space, so I just utilised it, left the pond as it were. Built a bee house with beehives behind it. I don't know if we'll get to see it from up here. And also a new house. So these are all new buildings down there with again a small defensive wall across from spawn area. If we cross here, changed these houses slightly. This house here on the left and the one on the right are in exactly their locations. This one here in the middle was actually, its floor was where the roof level is, so dropped that, put multiple paths in. In fact, let's see which is going to be the best path to go down. It will in fact be this one. So put the paths in. Oh, bit of path missing. I'll have to come back and fix that. Yeah. So try to interconnect it all so it's all linked together. Change the heights, etc. Only on as minimum of things as possible. So put this path in. Originally the path actually went vertically up. So this part is the original path, but it went vertically up, and there was no way I could get the heights right. So instead I doglegged it round. Again, this is the heart of spawn. You've got some houses. These are all original houses, not changed in height or anything. But I have moved the... there we go, villagers, as I say, love these greenhouses. Changed the heights of some of these farms, I should say, because they were actually recessed in a hole in the middle, which is no longer there. New blacksmith. I thought that was the best place to put the blacksmith, right beside the gates as you come in. Put some scarecrows in the back of some of the greenhouses. Smexy actually placed them in, but so I've kept them in place but built the greenhouse up and round. As you can see, these houses have remained where they are, height wise and everything, so hence why the path goes up and down. But again, feel it's much better than the than if I removed them and levelled it out. This house, however, had to be dropped quite dramatically because it was halfway up this hill, so I brought it down so that it could be linked in, and the villagers spent a lot of time in that when I was doing the building work. This is the new tower, and these are 2 new buildings. This whole area was levelled out. When I was doing the work, I originally removed all the trees from this central area. I have subsequently, as you can see, gone back and done a large replant. This allowed me to design the buildings as I wish them to be, and the greenhouses as I wish them to be, and subsequently then came back to put the trees down. The trees here weren't altered, this one here and this one here, as I felt that they kind of gave enough flavour anyhow. So let's go back to the spawn point and have a look at what happens when somebody arrives. If they don't want to go off into the village, what they can do is they can come across this structure. As you can see, I am using a lot of torches at the moment. That's predominantly to reduce the amount of spawning going on in the village. As you can see here, I'm utilising or experimenting to come up with other lighting sources within the village. The predominant idea here is to light up spawn off sensors so that when it's daylight they all go off, and when it's night time they all come on. So if a person that spawns in there comes along here, they can pick up some basic armour and some basic tools so they can survive, and then if you carry on here there is in fact a book to travel them to the Nexus. So very quick overview of spawn, but I am conscious of time, so we'll just finish this off. I'll have a quick look at the time and then we'll see where we go from here. Gatehouse. Again, what I've done is I've done an inverted gatehouse. Didn't want to basically build a fort again, so what I've done is I've taken the skeleton of what would be within a gatehouse and turned it out. The reason for the difference in colours between the bricks is this one here is vanilla brick, this one here is red power with a saw, so it's been cut. I've done it in a pattern, so to try and minimise the effect of the 2 colours. Right, so bear with me a second, I'll have a look at the time. Okay, clock's telling me 26 minutes. I cannot believe it's 26 minutes. So, seeing I haven't been able to show everything that I've wanted to show, I think we'll make this part 1 of a probable 2-part series. Oh, hello, Mr. Zombie. I must be over the wall. Yeah, it's a case of 2-part series so that I can show you the other elements that I wanted to show you. So I guess we'll call it there. I'd just like to thank you for watching this episode, and until next time, keep safe, keep well, but for now, goodbye.